Um, no, I'm happy for everyone to hear. Yeah. So, um, I've had like so many welfare checks, and I've just received from information requests today an acknowledgement of an email that I sent asking for a record of what number of welfare checks I've received since I've been in Christchurch, badge numbers and so forth. I know police doesn't give the names of people who are concerned about me, which I've said many times. If anyone was concerned about me, they'd be there by my side helping me, not ringing police, because they know that police knocks on the door trigger my PTSD, and that's actually really bad for my health, and I've got a heightened stroke risk, which is shown in an MRI that my doctor ordered. So I've got increased white matter in my brain, which shows that part of my brain's ageing. So it's more the kind of condition that you'd find in a sort of someone in their 70s. And so stress, which is what I have. I have stress and trauma. And people like to write that down as anxiety or mental health problems, but stress is actually a very physical syndrome. And because I have PTSD, when someone knocks on my door unexpectedly, and I've asked police very many times to not knock on my door unexpectedly, the same as mental health crisis, and I copied an email to police as well, to ISU, to say please don't send police here. So I know it's not your fault, but the fact of the matter is it's not my fault that the interface that you guys deal with and the instructions that you get when you're deployed to come and do a welfare check, unfortunately you're given zero information. So you turn up and, again, not your fault, but again, not my fault either. I have to explain because I estimate that I've had 35 welfare checks since I've been in Christchurch, which has been since probably, I think the first one was sometime in August in 2022. My welfare has been thoroughly checked, and it's really bad. And the reason it's really bad is not because it's a mental health problem, because I've been discharged from Hill Morton Hospital, and to be held under the and that's under the Mental Health Act. To be held under the Mental Health Act, you need to have two, not one, but two arms of the law, and you guys know about legislation. You can have an or an and. Now this is an and, so you have to both things. Both, you need to be at risk of harming yourself or others. Yes, tick. Yep, absolutely 100%. I've made 5 suicide attempts, and I'm on the verge of making a 6th. And secondly, you have to meet the criteria of a mental disorder. So I was released by a senior psychiatrist called Neil Jameson, and this is on record, and police have a copy of it, saying that I was still a medium to high suicide risk, okay, but I don't have a mental health disorder. So when police turn up and tell me to get mental health help, it's a bit of a joke, because I spent, a whole summer in a psychiatric hospital. And so the reason that I'm suicidal is because my human rights are not being met, and I'm physically really unwell, and I'm being abused. There is a verified condition or experience called serial victimization, and it's often brushed off as paranoia, but it's not paranoia. It is a documented fact. It's documented by criminologists and sociologists, and it often happens when a person, it's basically the weak member of the herd. And I'm a weak member of the herd because I'm new to Christchurch, I'm really isolated, I have autism, I have PTSD, I have ADHD, and none of those things endear me to other people. So I don't have a community, this is the closest thing I've had to a community in years, And I've got a court date on the 12th of February, I don't have any representation. There are good cops and there are not so good cops, and I've been harassed by the not so good cops, and I've been arrested twice for things that they've tried to disappear. that have been totally false, based on totally false testimony, such as that I exerted to decapitate someone. Like absolute bullshit. And when I asked for evidence of this, they said I'd have to ask the court, but it's not a court matter because the judge dismissed the charges. So, you know, like it just gets disappeared. And there's no recourse. I can go to the IPCA, I can go to all sorts of places, but I'm already completely overwhelmed and really unwell with fatigue disorders and trauma. Do you think I'm really going to start a really strong relationship with the IPCA to go through this? So basically, I'm almost bedridden. I'm trying to get myself together to go and do some laundry, and I'm trying to go up to the pharmacy to get my meds, but I've got to really bolster myself to do that because I'm really unwell. So I've had, the reason that I asked information for a record of all these welfare checks and the reasons behind them is that I don't know why people keep checking, because it's already been checked 30 or 40 times. I'm not okay.
So I'm not sure what organisations contacted us directly.
I know that's the problem, and so, but.
Sent them some emails, and then you've also asked for a disclosure. I don't know if that's separate for the police.
I have asked for disclosure, yes, but the fact that you don't know exactly why you're here is exactly what I'm saying. It's not helpful to me.
Well, we're here just not who specifically contacted us, but it was more regards to
Yeah, but
emails.
yes, I understand that, and I've sent emails to police, and I've sent emails to the mental health, to specialist mental health. So my doctor knows. My doctor has written a medical certificate that I've just forwarded through to police today. As well as MSD, because this is emergency housing and it's very insecure, and at the moment it's extended to only 2 days after my trial for willful trespass and resisting arrest. How original.
Is that the one on the 12th?
Yes, which the case review hearing judge recommended to PPS to drop. So I'm under enormous stress. I don't have my papers with me. I've moved 14 times in 19 weeks. I haven't had an opportunity to do any preparation. I have had a trail of legal aid lawyers. Legal aid, as many lawyers have commented academically, is broken. Okay, there's no point in having a legal aid lawyer who just goes, oh, I don't have enough time on my caseload, and shifts me on. I was with PDS for a little bit, which was wonderful because they had the resources, and then they found out they were conflicted because one of my accusers has been represented by them. So it's not that PDS can refuse to represent someone, because obviously they're public. They can't just go no, because of course you're going to come across someone. But it did mean that they couldn't adequately cross-examine the person because there was that kind of conflict. So I was passed on to another lawyer who on the 19th of January, bearing in mind my trial was on the 12th, said, we better make a start. I'm like, oh, really? Because the other parties had a start since the 4th of July. And I've gone to court and I've said, you guys have to follow the Human Rights Act. It's in Part 1A of the Human Rights Act. It specifically relates to arms of the judiciary. And the specialist guy, was at CMM or GAT, I can't remember which, said, oh, but the judge already said that you didn't meet criteria for fitness to stand trial, which is about mental health. And I said, it's not about that, it's about physical illness and disability, which I have. And he said, I don't know what you're talking about, which is horrific that the court, the district bloody court, has never ever heard of its responsibility specifically under Section 1A of the Human Rights Act, that it has to make allowances for people's disabilities. Never mind the fact that I'm unrepresented a couple of weeks away from the hearing, and MSD is telling me, despite our written obligations, that I have obligations to be house hunting during this time when I'm about to collapse. Now, suicide is really high in countries that doesn't have human rights uplifted and enacted. I'm not asking for much. I'm actually libertarian. I don't ask to be spoon-fed privileges, but I do expect to not be screwed over just because I have no capability to defend myself, because people are disregarding agreements that I have. I struggle to get out of bed. How am I supposed to go and defend myself in a trial when these guys are trying to kick me out at 2 days after it? I'm wondering why I'd bother to put myself through that stress. I cry every day in desperation. Now, every single time police turn up to do a welfare check, I don't know who is deploying you and why they think another one is going to help. My welfare has been checked. It is bad.
Unfortunately, when a new event like that comes up,
Yeah.
we've got to
Yeah. Well. But also under the law, I can ask you to please leave and not come back, because it's not. I don't have an obligation under the law. There's no obligation under the Policing Act.
in the end, we just want to make sure you're good.
Well, everybody's said that so far, and no one's made sure. They've just told me to ring the mental health nurse. Now that's pretty silly, considering it's been psychiatrically diagnosed. This is not a psychiatric disorder. This is lack of support in the community. So I don't see how a mental health nurse is going to improve on a senior psychiatrist's report.
I think that's more in regards to even people without mental disorders and that, if they've got suicidal concerns, that can come under.
Yeah, but do you see how I don't want to take mental health advice from frontline police when I've been in a psychiatric hospital?
Yeah.
And do you see how each of I estimate 35 welfare checks, that's all that ever comes out of it? So you can't make sure I'm okay. All you can do is scare the bejesus out of me and make me feel even more hopeless about my situation. If you really wanted to help, my understanding of welfare checks is if someone's gone missing, want to see if you're okay, you're okay, and then, if you are there, is anyone harming you? Yes, someone is harming me, and no one's doing anything about it. So I've been harmed by criminals, and it's those same criminals that are abusing me in the justice system now. It's called legal abuse, and that's one of my diagnoses. It's legal abuse. So my GP, you don't need to do a welfare check on me, because my GP, and I can show you a copy of it because I received it today and I forwarded it on, says one of my disabilities is suicidality. It's been checked out thoroughly. I have a close relationship with my GP, so this is on a MSD form, so you can really be very well assured that my GP has been with me all through this and has been trying to find me some support. So I understand from your position, you've been deployed because of some emails, but that's, not to be rude, not my problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a problem. It's just to more check if things have changed, or, and as I said, like, I don't know you too well.
Yeah, I mean, things have changed.
A lot of people we deal with, it can be quite a frequent thing that we have to, unfortunately, go.
Yeah, I mean, you may have to, but I've read the Policing Act, and it's not an obligation on police, and it's not an obligation on me. So, with all due respect, you all seem lovely, but I'm going to go back inside because this is taking a lot of my energy.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, and goodbye.